Now, Miss World, one of Time magazine's 100 most influential people. These are accolades which I have inexplicably yet to be awarded, but which my next guest has combined with a glittering Bollywood career and now is an American actress. Since 2015, she's been playing the lead role of Alex Parrish in the American drama series Quantico. As an ambassador for UNICEF, she actively promotes children's rights and the education of girls. Will you please welcome Priyanka Chopra?
Band.
Okay.
Yes.
So, here you are in Dubai. You are traveling all the time.
All the time.
All the time. You said to me last night, I said, where's home? And you said, wherever my shoes are.
Wherever my favorite pair of shoes
Your favorite pair of shoes. Yes. I left that bit out. Okay, so, but right from a child, you moved from school to school, from place to place. Now, some people might say, oh, that's really disruptive, but actually it builds resilience, doesn't it?
I think my parents were both in the army, and we moved around every 2 years because it was a new place to move to. And initially, I used to be really upset about it. I used to tell my dad that, you know, I have to make new friends, I have to figure out the whole new thing. But my father made it into a game for me. So he told me, suppose you're like totally awful at school, or like you hate your classmate or whatever, the next school that you go to, you can be whoever you want. So then I started like adopting different personalities, and I would be like, all right, now I'm going to be a dancer in this school, or I'm going to try my hand at music or elocution. And it became this thing where
you could reinvent yourself.
Yeah, it made me really adaptable, and now I think it really helped me with my acting career too.
Oh, that's extraordinary. You also said, I don't have roots, I have wings.
I do.
Which I think that's a lovely expression, isn't it? But how translate that into how you've lived your life?
Well, I think the last 3 years have been a little nomadic for me. I've been straddling 2 continents between my work in America and my work in India. I don't think they're mutually exclusive. I don't think that I should choose one of them. So it's been a lot. I don't know where my home is. I rent houses wherever my new project is. You know, if I want my favorite bag, I'm like, where is it? And then my assistants scramble, and then you have to look in like 3 different cities around the world. So it's a lot. I feel like that's why I have only wings and no roots.
But does that mean, you have wings, but does that mean you also have to have a big support staff to find your bags?
I have. Yeah, because we have 27 every time we travel. No, I'm just joking. But the customs is going to get me in India now. Great.
It's okay, they won't watch this. Really unlikely.
No, I do have an incredible team. I have a team of at least 26 people who support me within both countries, just because I do a lot between my acting jobs, my music, my production, my philanthropy. It's just like a lot of things, always. A lot of moving parts all the time.
Let's pick up on the philanthropy bit. Right. Tell me what you're doing in that area.
Well, I've been attached with UNICEF for about over a decade, and education, which is why this is so important to me. And all of you coming here and support for this is so important to me, and all of these wonderful people.
Mo's nodding. Do you do UNICEF stuff too?
I do Save the Children, but I am getting involved with them. I'm actually taking part in the football match 10th of June.
That's amazing.
Old Trafford.
But this is the thing you have in common. I mean, you've achieved so much, but you straight in as ambassadors and advocates like you're doing. So with UNICEF, what particular role have you got?
For education, for the upliftment of girl children, rights for children around the world. And I feel like, especially countries of conflict and war, and which are ravaged by, you know, kids being disrupted from their normal lives, I think the desperation with which kids want education there, the desperation with which they want to be able to have a hold or a grip on their future is, and that's so uncertain. Like I went to this, and I was telling this story just yesterday, I went to this Syrian refugee camp in Jordan, and the amazing thing to me with these kids were, so I would ask them, what do you want to do when you grow up? And they're all in these schools, and they'd be like, I want to be an astronaut, or I want to be a doctor or a lawyer. And I know that these kids have no access to in higher education. I know they're being raised in, they don't even have schools to go to, but I can't say that to them, you know? And it's such a, and UNICEF is doing such an incredible job by like finding teachers around the world, training teachers around the world, which exactly is what's happening here. They're such an integral part of making sure that we don't lose a whole generation of kids to
I don't think
violence.
There could rarely have been a generation, certainly sort of recently, that has had such upheaval. And something
Absolutely.
like a fifth of the population of the world is on the move.
Absolutely.
Right now we have refugees from Syria, we have wars all around the world.
In Bangladesh, everywhere.
And, you know, we tend to think of the adults, but the children, the consequence of these wars for the children that are affected is...
And you know, what we don't realize, sorry, is like because we don't think about it, is these kids, if they're not in school and they don't have an understanding of what, if they can, they don't have a grip on their lives and their future, their mentality, they tend to feel like the world doesn't care about them. So it's so easy for them to be vulnerable to, you know, extremists who come and say,
Yes.
well, the world doesn't care about you, here's a gun, let's go shoot them.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
You know, and this is a whole generation that's vulnerable.
We're going to meet one of those later on today, I think,
Right,
somebody who started
yes.
out as a child soldier.
Yeah.
But actually, funny enough, as both Mo and Vladimir were saying, that sometimes if you are thrown big challenges as a child, it strengthens you as a person because you've had to cope at a very young age with extraordinary things. Just to lighten it up a little bit, you're a film and television star, huge star, which means you have a massive Twitter following. I think
Yes.
it's 22
Yes,
million.
some such.
By the way, mine, I have to say,
Can I
it's
tweet
over.
you? I just did. I'll tweet that picture that we took. We were comparing fist sizes backstage. Do you
What?
guys want to see that?
I think-
like especially
I
Vlad's.
can't imagine who won that. Go on.
That's the picture.
Let's
that's
see
gonna...
the three fists in the middle.
All right, whatever. Whatever.
There we go.
Mine's not bad.
It's good.
There is the GESF live image of the week.
That's the size of
Is-
the heart, you know, big heart.
Yeah. You have a really short heart. Okay.
So, but what's it like having 22 million Twitter followers? And what relationship do you have with Twitter?
I love social media. I was one of the first few adopters of Twitter when it started in the world, and I just love having direct access with people. I hate having, I mean, it just gets rid of the intermediaries which like tell you what I'm saying or their opinion. This is just me directly talking to people who are interested in me. And when it comes to like people who are, you know, like Twitter gets associated with trolling.
Yeah.
People just, I mean, there's this beautiful, beautiful button called block. I use it very often.
The only thing about block is that the other person knows you've blocked.
That's the point.
But I think mute is even
I want
better.
them to know.
Oh, okay, fine.
I'm deliberately blocking you because
Okay.
you're rude.
Okay.
Bye, peace.
It's true. Tell me a little about your new challenge in the States, Alex Parrish. Tell me more about this and how you took it on, how it came about, how you're enjoying it.
Well, Quantico was, it was just an extremely new thing to happen to, I guess, even South Asian talent for that matter. We were having this discussion yesterday. Quantico is a show on ABC Network, and I play an FBI agent who's an American girl, and I'm not. I'm from India. I'm not even like American Indian.
Yeah.
So I think that, for me, was a personal big win for South Asians.
Yes.
I feel like we're 1/5 of the world's population.
Yep.
But representation in global entertainment, whether it is the UK or the US, it does not represent us as much as we should be.
Yeah, 'cause you were-
And instead of being stereotyped...
I was going to say you were
into-
pigeonholed and stereotyped
Yeah,
before.
we're always pigeonholed as South Asians to play the kind of characters that you always expect to, which I don't mind. Like, I'm a geek at heart. You know, but you don't, we're always the engineers, the nurses, the doctors. And which is great. I come from a family of doctors, so maybe the stereotype works. But
yeah.
I, as an artist, wanted to be able to break that mold and say that, you know, I'm just an artist, I'm an actor, and I want to be taken seriously for that. So when Quantico happened, and I played like an ass-kicking, door-breaking FBI agent, it was like a really new thing for South Asian actors, and that's been like it's my goal. I want to be able to, hopefully with the parts that I choose, open doors for enough South Asian talent to be viewed that way, where people say, all right, you don't just need to pigeonhole someone who comes from South Asia into the box that they need to be put in.
But also, they all know who you are. This is the thing about, this is the weird thing about today's show,
Right.
is that everybody I've had, with the possible exception of Vikas, are unable to walk around the country where they came from without presumably being mobbed. I mean, wherever you go. This must be a big thing for you in India, for you in Ukraine, and for you, Mo, back home. I mean, let's start from, well, Vladimir, with you. I mean, how do you cope with, do people always want a piece of you?
I'm big, I have a lot of pieces.
Very good answer.
Care, you know, sharing, not everything. So I'm just, I think, okay with that. I got used to it, and you just handle it like 4 seasons. Maybe not in Dubai, but 4 seasons. You know, getting clothes. If it's cold, you're getting more clothes on you. If it's warm, less. So we just adapting. You know.
Mo, you do you get a lot of hassle back home?
A little bit back. Yeah, it's different.
There's a kind of British thing, because there's a British tradition that they like to sort of say, "Aye, Mo, all right, I'll beat you around. I'll bet you can't beat me to the bus stop." All that stuff. Is that true?
No, you get a lot of
that's
that.
so annoying.
Growing up for me was like football. And if I saw a football player, I'd be like, so I understand, and it's the people who support you. You know, who cares?
Who's your favorite football player? Sorry, but
No, that's fine.
I have to be Dennis Beckham, right?
All right.
good.
Well done.
Dennis Bergkamp.
What's about Andrei Shevchenko?
Yeah.
I know, but it's
This isn't getting into a
We're now
sports
gonna get
conversation, which
sidetracked.
I have nothing about, like I know nothing
Well,
about.
I was
so
going to ask you, Priyanka, your favourite footballer would
Yeah,
be...
horrible question. I should probably not get. No,
What
stop it.
Cricket, Sachin Tendulkar, maybe?
I mean, that's the safest answer, and yes, I love Sachin. So yes.
Yes. Well,
But
you and Sachin are the god and goddess of India.
oh, I wish. No comparison to who Sachin is. And I think like also sport is. Like, there's no way entertainers. I mean, we've always been so closely knit, entertainment and sport for some reason, but it's such complete different professions, completely. But like for me, I started working when I was 17 years old. I've never known anything else.
Yeah.
I've been in the entertainment business, so it's my normal. So
But
if I walk somewhere and someone doesn't know me, I'll be like, hey, what's up?
I know, it's a strange one. But listen,
This is suspect.
we have to wrap it up there, but both sport and entertainment, I mean, that's what brings you in contact with the world, and you give so much back. So I want to thank all of you. Priyanka, Vladimir, Mo, thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Okay, so thank you to all of my guests.